What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait, I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome to the show. Welcome. It's your first time tuning in. By the way, tomorrow we will be back on TikTok. I'm serving my 3-day suspension ban from TikTok for playing a live stream press conference from the White House where Trump went ahead and called former President Biden a mentally retarded person. That came about when Trump was talking, obviously, from the White House. A reporter asked him a question, and he said Kim Jong-un went ahead and called Biden a mentally retarded person. So we are serving a 3-day ban on that. But we'll be back tomorrow. Shout out to everybody who has made their way from TikTok, which is one of our largest audiences, over to YouTube or X or wherever to go ahead and watch us. Appreciate that. The Breakdown, episode 697. We are 3 episodes away. After this show, we'll be 2 episodes away from 700. And I'm bringing it today. I am bringing it. It is no holds bars for me today. The shit that I'm seeing on the timeline is disgusting. Absolutely 100% disgusting. We will be talking about the markets as well. We'll talk about crypto. I am absolutely going to be on this mic and I'm going to be ripping you assholes. Just know that. That's happening. You might want to go ahead and call your grandparents. You might want to call your cousins. Might want to call the FCC, whoever you need to fucking call right now. Disgusting. A lot of you Americans so-called Americans should be deported. And a lot of you guys are not registered as fucking agents, okay? 100% I know you motherfuckers are getting paid off by government bodies. %. There's no doubt about it. For you guys, you are disgusting. Now hold on. Let me just hold on. Control yourself, Dave. Control yourself. Control yourself. Okay, Midnight is the title sponsor of this show, The Breakdown. One of the top shows that are out there. The Breakdown. The top host, the most good-looking host. Shout out to Midnight and Charles. Privacy matters. We'll bring Charles on this month. We'll talk about Midnight. Obviously, last month it went live. I might bring a whole panel on for privacy, as Zcash and a lot of others have reached out. Might have a fucking panel on here. I'm trying to take a deep breath, but I can't. Not today. Not today. Polymarket is the official sponsor. Polymarket is the official prediction market sponsor of the DG brand and also The Breakdown. And I'm starting to look at Polymarket and the percent is moving up right now, ladies and gentlemen. For Bitcoin to hit $80,000, it's up into the 60s now. I think it hit 70. I think it hit 70% somewhere. Well, we can look at what Polymarket is doing. Also, Cake Wallet. Shout out to Vic and Cake Wallet, Secure Wallet. We only do good brands here. I've turned away so many brands that have emailed me at partnerships@gokhshtein.com. I have turned away so many brands. And they've offered so much money, but I've turned them away. I've turned them away. Just like I would turn away any country that would try to make me come on my show and sound like CNN, like I'm reporting for the enemy. People's Reserve. Shout out to People's Reserve. Shout out to CJ. He'll be speaking at the Bitcoin Conference 2026. They'll be talking about Bitcoin, collateral, RWAs. You dare tune in. We should have CJ on this month or next month too. All right. I'm feeling like I just want to do this whole show this month by myself. That's what I feel like doing. Anyway, we will bring in Landy for a few minutes here. I'm telling you, this show probably could get me canceled, and I don't give a fuck anymore either. I can care less about that. Landy, what's going on with you? Good morning.
Good morning, David. How are you?
Great. I'm fucking great. I'm absolutely great, if that's the question.
Man, a lot of FARA violations. Yeah. It's funny to watch. I mean, to be quite honest, the CNN backpedal was pretty amazing yesterday as well, because they put out verified fake news.
From fucking Nigeria.
Verified fake. Yeah. And it was from a Nigerian account. And specifically, they have some pretty deep ties with these weird connections with accounts that put out a lot of fake news as breaking from these particular areas around the world. So it's going to be interesting to see what's found out there. There is definitely some shoes that will be dropping, I'm sure. But you know me, I'm keeping an eye on markets, and boy, oh boy, did I say something on Monday that came to fruition. In particular, I made a big point in Monday's video after market close for Bitcoin. So for those that have been asking, market close for Bitcoin is a different time than the New York session. So market close for Bitcoin is at 8 p.m. Standard Time, 5 p.m. 8 p.m. Standard Time, Eastern Standard Time, rather, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then my video is recorded and uploaded at 9 Eastern and 6 Pacific. And I made a very big point of be very careful if you're long oil, especially with the news that was coming out about what could potentially happen on Tuesday. And oil, I had mentioned earlier in the day when I was on with you, was moving up towards a major overhead resistance between 115 and 130, essentially, with the most recent high being just shy of 120. I said, we could get a move into that area, but be very, very careful if you're long around that area, because the setup was for either an expansion to go higher or a big, big rejection. And we saw a big rejection with oil falling all the way back down to the primary support that I previously spoken about at 90 to 95, where it's currently hanging out. So, you know what? I'm going to break my own arm and pat myself on the back yet again, because I was positioned short as well. I hope that not financial advice, but I hope that people at least watched the show on Monday, the breakdown, where we discussed a little bit of this stuff when it related to markets, and then of course the actual market update every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if you did miss that, on Monday, there was a lot of content between David and, of course, myself. And the market did pretty much what I talked about, almost to a T, almost to the dollar. So, yeah, I'm happy.
I'm just retweeting shit. So I'm listening
Oh,
to
you're
you.
good. You're good. I know. Yeah,
I just want to
see
know.
you retweeting.
I just want everybody to know when I do that, I'm retweeting. I'm not commenting on anybody's bullshit. I'm just retweeting the show, okay, and I'm sharing it all over the fucking place. But Landy, I remember you saying that 100%. The
Yeah.
market, listen, as soon as there was a ceasefire, though, the markets went ripping up, upwards.
Well,
And
yeah,
I
because
think, and I think that's what the investors are looking for. It's just like they want to see. Obviously, the investors want to see all this shit come to an end. Let's keep it 100 here. Like investors
yeah,
just want this whole shit done, and they'll feel more comfortable going into the markets, which would be, which is a plus because obviously we've seen yesterday markets reacted positively when there was a ceasefire announced.
yeah.
But it's funny to me. Here's well, go ahead with the markets because I am chomping at the bit right now, man.
Well, I know.
I don't know how I'm holding myself back.
I'm irritated about the same things you are. By the way, I've been watching what's going on a little bit when I've had a chance. Although yesterday was a busy day, I was keeping an eye on, kind of what the discourse was surrounding some of the news. And when it comes to markets, one of the things that I said on Monday with you was the markets were testing out risk. So there was a bit of risk being put on the table. I think that the markets were waiting just for confirmation to put more down. Um, and now we have seen that. One of the other big things was with Bitcoin. I noted on Monday with you that we needed to see a close above, 69.3. That was rejected going into the late session there, but we did see a higher high towards 72K. And later in the day, after the market closed, I had mentioned, like, look, there's a higher high, but what we need to see is Bitcoin trade back above there, trade back above 70, rather, not 72. It had tested 70, trade back above 70. And then I'm looking for that 70 to 72. If we start to get above there, especially on closes, we could start to look towards that, kind of 74 to 76 area and potentially more up to 78 to 80 if we do see a breakout above there. Now, we are still within the range for something like Bitcoin. We did test above to around 72 and a half in the early goings of the session for Bitcoin. But right now we're seeing the market kind of readjust and still kind of get in a position where it's hedging for um, any potential disruptions, right? Because one of the big things that you and I and anyone who's paying attention to what actually happens in the world and not fake news, Iran doesn't have the best track record of keeping their word. And they are not the ones that laid out the terms of they have no room to negotiate terms. And I think that Trump pretty well laid it out when he put out a post earlier of what the terms are that they are agreeing to, and noting that there's still some terms that that they're working on getting some agreement with. But he said something really important, and we need to see how the whatever existing power structure is currently in Iran, how they react, and how they act, right? Because again, they are highly decentralized. You'll often read that it's a mosaic, right? But they're highly decentralized in terms of their command and control infrastructure for military. And their military is not the same even as the IRGC. So even if you get one portion under control in some regions, there's still a bit of autonomy that happens between military and IRGC in other regions. So it will take some time to see if they're going to actually adhere to some of the early terms of this ceasefire. And then throughout this process, whatever is agreed to in this process, which Trump noted something big, and that's that the US will go in with the Iranian leadership, or whoever that is at this point, and actually secure the nuclear dust materials from some of the sites that were previously taken out under Midnight Hammer, and then any additional sites beyond that. Which, by the way, if Iran was dictating any of these negotiating terms and they were actually in a position of power, they wouldn't be allowing that. They wouldn't be agreeing to anything. So anybody painting this as a taco, by the way, which is the stupidest thing ever. It's a pretty new phenomenon.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing ever. And I know that I'm going to let you rip on this because I'm going to set it up for you.
Oh my
But I
God,
wanted to
bro.
get my
Like
thoughts
I
in real
am,
quick.
bro.
wanna get-
I am a wild Mustang right now, bro. Like I am, bro. Oh,
Well,
the
it's
shit that I've
because
seen on social media,
so
man.
stupid. One what people need to understand is anybody who understands military operations and what's been occurring there and being and keeping track, and you don't even have to be an expert or former military or a current military or defense or anything like that, but what you do need to understand is complete sea dominance, right? Complete air superiority in this case, with almost broad air dominance. It really depends. Right now, I would almost consider it air dominance, because if you got to take man pads out, you're pretty much your infrastructure for air defense is gone. There's no actual air force left. And realistically, most of their infrastructure for drone production, missile production, and now nuclear production is offline. And now it's about cleanup. And I mentioned this to you. It's going to clean up for this. It's been cleanup really since like week 3, is just taking out all of the decentralized infrastructure. They've hit a lot of them. There's a few missile cities, but one of the major missile cities they've hit already. So a lot of this stuff is about now winding up and wrapping up more of the threats that can be deployed against the region, right? And then of course I've speculated, and now we know after the rescue of the Wizzo and the pilot there from the F-15E that got struck, successful operations there where they literally you don't fly in hundreds of special forces operators and extract someone from a mountainside and take out all their forces with no casualties, and then blow up the planes that got bogged down in the sand, fly in new planes, and then extract your entire your entire operating team in the region because you're losing. All right. All right. So this notion of Trump, see, this is the most bizarre thing, and I know that you're going to touch on this. The most bizarre thing is, one, Trump is horrible for even doing anything in the first place and striking Iran. This is such a bad decision. And then it's oh my God, he's gonna it's war crimes and this and that, right? And if you take out infrastructure, which by the way, the same lefties were celebrating when Ukraine took out the Crimean Bridge, of course. They fed into all of these stupid narratives, like it's whiplash. Like Trump goes dark while this operation to rescue this Wizzo is going on, and of course now he's dead, because that's going to be the narrative. And there was even speculation that Pete Hegseth was dead as well. Like I don't know if you saw that. It's like
I seen that.
these people are idiots. And people lap it up. I don't know why people even pay attention to this, but they get distribution through a lot of these fake accounts that are botted all to hell that put it out everywhere on social media. But then it moved to, okay, Trump laid down the terms, and then they obviously flinched. They blinked, right? Trump could eat, they if they didn't blink, they wouldn't have let transports through the strait, and now there's transports going through the strait, right? Not just of oil, but also fertilizer and other materials as well. Other shipping in that area. It's been about oil. Everybody talks about the oil part, but there's a lot that moves through the strait that's not just oil. And now that is happening, and negotiations are occurring. And the only thing these morons want to talk about is paint a picture of a fake 10-point plan from a fake account that CNN perpetuated because they picked up on it. And this is the kind of stuff, like, it's the same kind of deal. Like, the enemy is actually within, right? Because you can even go back to what they talked about with essentially somebody leaking to news outlets that the Wizzo was still in Iran. These people do not have American or Western nations issue, in particular, American interests in mind. So the enemy really is within. They do things to sabotage even ongoing live operations with lives at risk. So it doesn't really surprise me that they would pick up on some fake news about the negotiations to try to paint Trump as Taco. He's literally getting everything he wanted. How is that him chickening out? It's either he's a war criminal or he's chickening out. What do you want? Do you want war with Iran or do you not want war with Iran? Fucking idiots everywhere, man.
Bro,
Because
they don't even know. They don't even know what the fuck they want.
And David, I've said this to you multiple times. The fake right, the bullshit artists on the right are indistinguishable from the bullshit artists on the left. They are the same crews, in fact, which is funny because even some of these people, many don't know, many of them have managers. Like, you could consider them like some could be social media managers, but a lot of them have managers or management companies that they work with. And you would be really shocked, I'm sure, to hear that a lot of these fake right people, that fake MAGA, have the same media managers and same outfits that manage them as the freaking lefties, which is wild to me. And meanwhile, they are trying to paint a completely different narrative than actual reality, because what Trump has been talking about, what Hegseth has been talking about, what Kane has been talking about, these are all they've been keeping things fact-based and in reality, and they haven't really minced words, right? And you can see the moment that even CENTCOM went dark while an operation was going on, then it was all about how we were losing and this. You don't need the up-to-date information on active operations that are occurring that have strategic significance to the United States or affects lives right then and there. You will find out later, or in some cases, you're not going to find out at all. But if you're an American citizen and you are buying into the fact that this bullshit narrative that somehow the United States is losing. Just let's look back a few months to Venezuela. Remember what a quagmire Venezuela was? And you remember it was the same kind of situation too when we went to make a deal. Oh my God, he's leaving the regime, and taco, 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 taco. It was literally not Taco Tuesday, it was taco every day, because one, he was going to park the Armada outside of Venezuela, but he wasn't going to do anything. Remember, he wasn't going to do anything. And if he does, he's a criminal. And then we went in, we snatched Maduro out of bed in the middle of the night, bring him to the United States, and turn him into a freaking fashion icon along the way. By the way, we've done this with Iran now too. Those boxers are sold out. But the funniest part about that is like, now we're doing deals there. And if you actually pay attention to what's happening in Venezuela, the people are actually, the economy is turning around. The people are able to open their businesses again. Regular Venezuelans are able to actually travel again the way that they were. They're rooting out corruption in Venezuela. No one knows this because no one's paying attention, because it would benefit Trump and the administration here to see Venezuelans actually succeed again. That would be a success story there, and successful negotiations and successful trade partnerships and deals that are happening right now with Venezuela. Which, by the way, you see all the pictures of all of the tankers going up through the Gulf into Texas from Venezuela, because of all the deals that we're doing there. And it's making Venezuela very, very, very wealthy again. Their economy's turned around. But all these same people were talking about the same things. Oh, it's a quagmire. There's World War III. China's going to take over Taiwan. Russia's going to start attacking further into Europe. All the same exact narratives are just being copy pasted to what's occurring in Iran. Remember, if there was any sustained operations in Venezuela, same stupid narratives. The fact that it was, hey, we went in and we grabbed him out of bed in the middle of the night, that's really the game changer there, because they didn't have any crutch to fall back on, any conflict or anything happening in terms of Venezuela being able to retaliate. Iran had a bigger navy. Again, it's all at the bottom of the ocean. They had a bigger navy and a bigger subfleet than Great Britain, than the English. The Great Royal Navy, which just had to recall their carrier, the only operational carrier, by the way. Iran had a larger navy. They had a larger infrastructure of troops and proxy armies throughout the Middle East, right? Like, they were actually a much larger threat than many even put them on paper as, because now we're finding out that all of our allies are goddamn paper tigers. They have more information keeps coming out about the real reason why you have a lot of NATO partners that wanted to, sit on the sidelines, is because they don't have the power to project anymore. And this would expose them. And it absolutely did, which is why Trump keeps goading them. It's amazing. How does this affect markets? Well, we see risk coming back because there is an actual ceasefire in place. And if a deal is done, guarantee that it's going to have American interest there in Iran. Guarantee. When Trump says we're going to help them rebuild, he's talking about the same model as Venezuela. So, David, I submit to you, Marco Rubio will someday be the president of the United States, the president of Venezuela, and the president of Iran, all at the same time.
And the next coach of your favorite sports team. Welcome to The Breakdown, episode 697, sponsored by Midnight, also Polymarket, Cake Wallet, and the People's Reserve. Okay, where do I start? Where do I start now? First of all, I want to know, and I don't know if this is speculation or not, or if I should deem it as speculation, but Mario, how much are they paying you? Who's paying you? That's what I want to know. Mario Nafal, who's paying you? Who's paying you to talk reckless like that? There's so much, and he came out. Do you want to know where is it? You came out saying that the United States lost. Let's bring up Mario Nawfal. A lot of you guys might not know him. Well, now I'll introduce you to him. Mario Nawfal, where is this young gentleman? Where is this? Where is this shit that he put out yesterday? Puts out this shit that, hold on. I can't share the screens either because yesterday I tried to share the screen and everything collapsed. So I got to do this manually now. Where is this shit? Where is what he's, yes, and I lit up, and especially from everything that was being said on social media, I was lit. I was absolutely lit. To see, you have so many liberals that came out yesterday saying, with Trump's message yesterday about he's going to absolutely demolish a civilization and shit like that. I'm paraphrasing. You had every single Democrat. Oh my God, he's about to nuke a country. He's about to nuke a civilization out of existence. Oh my God. This man's reckless. We got to invoke the 25th on him immediately. Somebody stop this. Trump agrees to this deal. Taco. I knew he wouldn't. We knew he wouldn't do it. He chickened out. CNN's up there. He bluffed. You knew he wasn't going to do this. And it continues on from station to liberal station to liberal station. He didn't go through with what he said and what he tweeted. Meanwhile, the entire day you were talking about the message that he wrote. That he was about to nuke, that was about to drop nuclear weapons on Iran. You guys were running, CNN, the biggest of them all, running around, screaming, yelling at the rooftops, from the rooftops. Oh my God, look what's happening. Oh my God. And it was almost as if our Democratic politicians stood with the Iranian regime. Like if you were just tuning in for the first time and you knew nothing about American politics, if you knew nothing about America, you would think that half of America was standing side by side with the Iranian regime. Not the people. You don't hear one mention about the people that have the protests. Let's just talk about the last month or two, about the 50,000 plus protesters in Iran that were killed. Let's not talk about that because that's not convenient for these people. These people are that sick. They won't talk about that. They won't talk about the Iranian people that want to get away from this terroristic fucking regime that has been in place for 4 decades. You're not gonna hear about that. You will not hear about that. They have sided with this regime. You've made it be known. And these fake ass MAGA influencers have shown their faces, all of them, every single one of them. And to me, they're either paid or they're stupid. There's no in between. It's either they're paid or they're fucking dumb as shit.
Both.
Reading some of the content, it's either or. You're paid or you're so fucking stupid, there isn't an IQ score for you. I was reading some of these things and I was blown away.
David, they can be both. They can be paid and stupid. Right?
Then they're paid and stupid, or they're either paid or stupid. I don't know which direction we're going in right now, but I'm telling you right, our politicians, dumb as fuck, voted in by the stupid. The shit that I'm here, this guy Roe goes on TV. In the morning, he puts out a video that Trump, the 25th needs to be invoked, that Trump's going to go ahead and blast Iran with nukes. Then he comes on later after there's a ceasefire and says Trump was too chicken shit to go ahead and do anything? Which one was it? Did the Democrats want to see the nukes actually? Did they want? I gotta calm down.
Yes.
I'm gonna throw my phone.
Did
Did
they
they want
tell you
to
right
see
now?
this
Yes.
shit happen or not? I am telling
Yes.
you are fucking with the wrong president. This is not Biden that does not know what fucking year it is, walking around. And have you seen the latest video of Biden? He has no clue he's in an ice cream shop. Okay? This is a man that you said that was running around the White House that you couldn't keep up with him. This is the guy that you guys were talking about. Your guy. For 4 years, you couldn't keep up with him. All these presidents have had no balls. Zero balls to do anything. We have Trump, who has a pair of nuts to him, that has gone in and absolutely obliterated a fucking terrorist regime to the point where the current leader, who doesn't have an arm or leg and who's given commands from a hospital bed,
If it's even him.
agreed. It might be the fucking poster they brought out. They're saying that he gave the order from the bed. How dare you? You fucking fake ass Americans.
Look, it's so bad, David. It's
Who's
so
paying
bad.
you? Russia? China? Which one?
You know they're losing the narrative so badly.
And hold on, Landy. I gotta stop you.
Go ahead.
This motherfucking prime minister from England, shut the fuck up, fatty. You coming in, oh, I'm glad to work. Now, shut your mouth. Nobody wants you at the table. All of a sudden, every NATO partner wants to sit at, you're not sitting at any table.
Nope. It's going to be Middle East
You guys
countries
did
and
not
the
let
United
us-
States.
No bases, did not let our military use you, who are you? What did you include yourself into the mix? I'm on one today. I don't give a fuck. After I saw all the anti-American shit going on, and people are coming at me like, yo, fuck Israel. I don't give a fuck what you say about Israel. I'm an American. You can keep on going with that dialogue all you want. But if you're an American, at least Israel showed up.
Yep.
Where were the NATO allies at? Where was NATO at?
It wasn't, and here's the even though Gulf nations didn't go on the offensive during the attack. One, they don't quite have the infrastructure to do so.
They don't expect them to go on an attack.
But
they got all and combined, they got an army of 10,000 people. We understand.
Well, they're not weak by any stretch, but
I'm not saying they're weak. I'm just saying it's not an army.
But what did they do? They assisted in operations, intelligence, negotiations, and getting messaging back and forth, and then also hosting United States troops and operations in their region. This is where things have fundamentally changed and shifted away from, we're lurching away from the NATO partners to the actual Gulf states in terms of our partnership, which is what it should have been from the beginning in that region.
How dare CNN come out here yesterday and report news from a Nigerian fucking startup news organization?
Oh, it's wild.
The CNN showed you they are not an American company. And I'm glad, I don't know what his name is. Maybe it was Brandon. Somebody from the FCC said, we're going to be looking into this.
Yeah.
And I hope they do. I
Well,
hope they do, because CNN has been the fucking mouthpiece, absolutely the fucking mouthpiece for Iran here, and not in a good way.
yeah.
Can you imagine how bad you guys have this TDS where you actually want to hurt the United States of America? And it's not just CNN. It's some of these so-called patriots that are out here where you talk a good game that you love America and you love this flag, but yet you do everything possible to spit on it and to spit on our leader. I don't give a fuck if you like Trump or not. He is our leader. It's the same way that if Biden was still our leader right now, I would be supporting him because I'm supporting the United States of America. Whether I like it or not, it's Team America, red, white, and blue that bleeds through these fucking veins that I'm fucking supporting, not Iran. I'm not standing side by side with the Iranian fucking terroristic regime. You guys have lost your fucking minds. I got to tell you, what I read yesterday and what I've watched, you have lost your fucking minds. And you should be deported. Yes, I said it. Anybody who is willing to pull a Benedict Arnold here should be deported. And let's bring in the immigrants waiting online to come into this country, to be a part of this country, because I feel like they'll be more productive and more loyal to the United States of America. You can have the mic. I am flipping out today after what I've read yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, look, I understand. I understand exactly where you're coming from. I think that one of the biggest things that I already know is that you and we've talked about this before, somewhat mostly offline, but we've been correct about our assessment on situation after situation because we actually understand and pay attention to what Trump is saying. We actually understand what it is that he's doing. And therefore, we can look at things and we can say, hey, I either agree with this or I don't. But when it comes to national security interests, when it comes to economic interests for the United States, um, we've been on the right side of history in our assessments because we're not taking the input and propaganda of America's enemies and posting those as facts and or
Correct.
talking about them as factual. And does the United States put out propaganda? Yeah. But one of the things that the United States does not do is with Trump at the helm is just straight up lie to the American citizens. He's been proven right over and over and over and over and over again through his first term and now into his second term. When he says he's going to do something, he gets it done. There are things that he says he's going to do that I don't agree with
Same
that he
here.
gets done, that I make it known, but that's different than I'm still, if we get into a conflict with another country, I'm with him. I'd be with Biden too, right? I can still be critical, but one of the things that I'm not going to be critical of is when the United States military is performing at some of the highest levels we've ever seen in history when it comes to operations, whether you're looking at Venezuela or you're looking at Iran and whatever other conflicts might occur. One, they need to be praised for what they're doing because that's Americans. That's us out there on the ground doing the work, right? And one of the things I think that that is trying to be that the left and the international media, because the international media mafia is what has infiltrated American media, right? It's international interests. It is not American media. They are not reporting anything, especially with Trump in office, that would jeopardize their bottom dollar or their narrative that they have for this dying new world order that was trying to get us to become a globalist society and outsource United States power to Europe. And this is it coming back. So the kicking and screaming and fighting that we're seeing is from many different aspects, whether it be economic, but also in the propaganda arena through the actual U.S. media. And there's a lot of interests that are aligned there that are now going to be out. Quite frankly, they're going to be gone. It's a dying medium for mainstream media. They're going to be forced to adjust. And more importantly, the majority of Americans outside of the media, the social media noise and bubble and the hyperbolic takes, the majority of Americans understand that the media is absolutely trash. And now we're in this phase of now we understand that the mainstream media is trash. Now we have to deal with our own. That this independent media that's been propped up and the redirection of funds from the mainstream media to these independent media actors, now that's going to get exposed, and it's being exposed, and it's been exposed. I would argue it's started to get exposed before Charlie Kirk's passing, and then it hit acceleration after Charlie Kirk's passing is when the new media started to get exposed and reveal themselves for who's who and who's being paid, and who is actually for the United States and who is just acting like they were for the United States. And in particular, in MAGA circles, who are the grifters? And the grifters have always been known. It was just a matter of when was the mask going to slip? Because even the
100%.
left knows they're grifters, but they have to support the grift because they're all doing the same grift. Even though they know it's a grift, because the Democrats here in the United States are so good at staying on brand that they have to support the grift. They're
Well, I
forced
got to
to.
tell you, the Democrats are phenomenal at staying with the message, and their only message and the only thing they're running on is "We hate Trump." That's
Well,
it.
I mean,
It-
look at
and
this.
that's the only thing that can win them.
See,
The midterms is the "I hate Trump" message.
yeah. Well, the biggest and the funniest thing is you already see them pivoting, right? Now that things are like, Trump's putting out, the Truth Social posts about what they've agreed to so far, and that there's still work to be done during this ceasefire. But by the way, ceasefire means, for anybody that doesn't understand it,
They
that the
don't
United
explain
States,
it. They don't understand. They don't understand it. They
this
don't
means that
trust me. I've
this is a
read. They do
temporary
not
truce.
understand what that means.
This is not a permanent end. This is not it's over. And even for those who are very much pro MAGA, pro Trump, and have maintained that all the way through and not been horrible grifters, understand that while things might be trending in the right direction, they can very easily reverse if those particular points that they're negotiating are not met. If they don't satisfy the conditions of accepting what the United States specifically, not what the Iranian regime wants, what the United States wants, then you're going to see the United States go right back into action. In fact, the rearmament and refitting is going to be even bigger. You have no you, these people online have no idea. They think
No.
they also have no idea that CENTCOM is not even the full. They think like the entire United States military was no, CENTCOM is just one portion of the military. There's like 80 to 90% of the military is still, in other theaters and or taking care of other tasks. We had the announcement of the Shield of America, the Shield of the Americas stuff while all of the Iran was going on. Nobody even is paying attention to
I
what we're
know.
doing in South America right now because this is dominating the headlines. They're going to
And
learn about it.
The
Yeah.
Ecuadorian president came out yesterday saying that he would absolutely not mind the United States coming in and taking out the cartel in his country.
And I can tell you, I can't say too much, but I can tell you that with what's going on in South America, there is clearly a new dawn is aging for South America and the United States. and
Correct.
it's going to sweep across South America very swiftly because a lot of South American countries are looking at the benefits of working with the United States via what happened in Venezuela because it's twofold. One, you don't want to get snatched out of bed in the middle of the night. And two, look at how quickly their economy turned around and look at how prosperous their people are right now in just a short period of months, not years, months. You know that if it was a regime change like the Bush years, the Clinton years, the Obama years, it would have taken years. We would be in some sort of quagmire there
You
because of the
notice,
way they
Lynn,
handled that stuff.
there's a difference when, if you look at the way Trump wants to do things. Trump said this before he even came into office, that the second time around, he was like, I don't want to go to war with people. I want to work with countries. Like, I want to build relationships with countries and work with them. Because if we can work together, then we can all prosper here. And and if our economy is great, then everybody else's economy is great, right? So like that's what his approach has been. So this is what I wanted to start. I wanted to give everybody a timeline. Anybody who's tuning in, especially new people, that there are a lot of people that started following me yesterday from me, replying to some of these big accounts from the political end for the bullshit that they were fucking talking. Like, especially, I went after Mario 100% with replies. I'm like, I'm watching Mario talk. I'm like, what are you saying, bro? What are you tweeting out? And I know it's not him. He has like 19 people manning that account. Holy shit, you got to vet your people a little bit better. Here's what I want to break down, and I broke it down yesterday because I see we already have a moron in the room. So let me break it down for the morons. Trump ran on no new wars, 100%. And the funny part about that is no new war was started. And you guys can go ahead and crawl up the wall with that one, but no new war was started. So let's look at the United States before Trump comes into office. China has their hands on Iran. China has their hands on the Panama Canal. China has their hands on Venezuela. That's 3 major assets that has its fucking hands in. So what does Trump do? Trump comes in. Trump knows, and by the way, this is true. You have Russian submarines. Let's look at the Biden era. You had Russian submarines 200 miles away from the coast of Florida. Under Biden, we allowed spy balloons to travel across the United States of America. Like I said yesterday, taking pictures of what, God knows what the fuck they were looking at and taking pictures of. If they really wanted to know the landscape of the United States of America, they could have gone to Google. No, they felt like they needed to go ahead and target in on something. And you had a spy balloon for hours that was crossing the United States of America and its properties. So this is under Biden. You got submarines that are literally 200 miles away from the coast of Florida. You got spy balloons. You got all types of shit going on. All types of shit. This is Biden. The man who got 88 million votes. Where he got those votes, I don't know. The most votes in the history of any fucking president, Biden. Think about this. Democrat or Republican, sit back on that one and let it marinate a little bit. I know you're concussed a little bit right now. For the last few years, you've been a little bit concussed, or you've been ever since Trump came down the golden escalator, you've been a little bit concussed. So you got to go ahead and let's sit back real quick, let this marinate. Think about it. 88 million people voting for Biden. That's wild. And we're talking about wild talk. Okay. Trump comes in. He ran on what he ran on. I seen somebody comment, the Epstein files. All the Epstein files have been released. You need to call your local politicians. Start calling them, phoning them in. The DOJ has literally confirmed that everything has been released. Trump signed off on releasing all documents. Go ahead now, call your representative, your Democratic representatives, your senators who happen to be Democrats, call them up, say, yo, I just heard on the breakdown that everything was released. Why haven't you guys released them yet? Go ahead, make those phone calls. Now, to speak on Trump, Trump did run on no new wars. Trump comes in, he assesses the situation with his wonderful administration, which I think has some of your favorite Democrats in him. And if I was a Democrat right now, I'd be still upset that I was forced to have Kamala Harris run for office and I didn't get to go ahead and pick somebody. I didn't get to pick somebody. The Democratic Party did not allow Democrats to pick their candidate. They forced a candidate on you. That sounds like communism, or maybe socialism, maybe both. You were forced to go with Kamala. You weren't allowed to have a primary. You were told that Kamala Harris will be the person that runs for your party. That didn't happen on the Republican side and would never happen on the Republican side. That's not America. That's socialism. Anyway, Trump comes in. He assesses the situation. Number one, why is China running the Panama Canal? Why is China running something we built? We built that shit. Why is China running it? We're going to take care of that real quick. The Panama Canal is ours. Trump goes right after that. Throws China out. Goodbye. He goes after Greenland. Yes, obviously, acquiring Greenland would give us fucking minerals and nice little rare earth minerals that we can great. But also, it would allow us, and yes, you're going to bring up the military bases. That's great. When you have full ownership of something, you could get more shit done. Panama Canal, Greenland, NATO gets upset. NATO should shut the fuck up because they don't pay any of their bills. Even with the 5% increase in GDP, they still haven't paid that shit. So they should shut the fuck up.
None of them are near 5% except Germany.
There you go. The 2%, the 5%, all that was done under Trump. Tariffs came out as a negotiating tool to help the United States of America be competitive again. We have been buying dog shit from all these fucking countries, and they have not bought any of our products. They have put stipulations in place. They have put taxes in place, tariffs up the yin-yang on American products. So what does Trump do? He used tariffs as a fucking tool to not only bring in revenue, but to bring back American companies and bring in investors into America, back to America. Oh my God, what a terrible thing to make America's economy healthy again. So Americans, you crazy ass Americans, you're okay with other countries taxing us. You're okay with other countries putting tariffs on us. And I guess you're okay with American companies not being able to sell their products to these countries that are selling their products to us at that time with no fucking tariffs in place, essentially. The tariffs that are in place are zero, like they're nothing. Let me keep going here. Venezuela, China's other hub. Here comes America. We take that back. Plain and simple. In layman's terms, we take that back. We take that away from China. Panama Canal now gone. Venezuela now gone. China's fucked because their whole plan was to take over the world. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. They weren't going to use their military. They were psyoping you. While you were doom scrolling on TikTok, they were making partnerships. They were bringing out BRICS. They were bringing money to the table with Venezuela. No worries, we're going to connect here. Panama Canal. Iran. Even till this day right now in this war, who do you think is giving them intel? Who stepped in from all reports to go ahead and get this ceasefire in place? China. Why? Their energy's all fucked. China has been doing undercover shit for the last decade.
I would argue longer, but yeah.
I'm gonna give them a decade because
Hit speed, definitely hit speed in the past decade.
but at the end of the day, the whole goal was to take the position currently held by the United States of America, become that superpower.
They geographically can't, right? Because they're hemmed in the Pacific by a bunch of nations that are not friendly to them.
Correct. So
And
my thing is,
they don't have open waterways the way we do. We have the
but they're not as powerful as people think.
No, they're not even close.
If they were powerful the way people think, but this is where they were leading to power. See, China
Yes.
was sneaky. They were trying to obtain that power. Russia
they're
has
trying to
no other
protect
choice
you.
but to play with China. China is buying Russian land and companies. Russia hates it, but Russia has no other choice because they're sanctioned.
Yep.
And the only people that they can fucking talk to is Iran and China.
And you know how you kneecap them? You kneecap them by taking out all of their vectors for the evasion of sanctions through Venezuela and Iran. And then you come to the table at the end of these conflicts and you say, all right, we've got control now in South America and in the Middle East, not just through just flattening the entire military infrastructure and command and control structure of Iran, but also through the Abraham Accords and the rise of what I believe is going to be the new rise of the Middle East nations as taking care of themselves with the support of the United States. Now you can go to Russia and you can say, "Hey, you want to end this war? We did a little test of lifting sanctions on you. We allowed one of your ships to go through to Cuba. Cuba's government's going to turn over soon anyway. The people there are not happy,
And guess who's going
despite
to
how many
control
influence.
Cuba?
Yeah,
The United States of America. I just want
yeah,
to say this quick, and you can have the mic, Landy.
yeah.
What I want to say quickly is Donald Trump, whether you like him or not, he is trying to secure interests that benefit the United States of America. So if you are an American, you are happy to have a leader with a pulse. You are happy that leadership stepped in, saw exactly what was happening, and put a stop to it. Because if we allow China to proceed, if God forbid Kamala Harris was in office, we would be fucked. Now, I'm being serious. I'm not even trying to be dramatic. I swear to you, Landy, like we talk all the time. I'm not a dramatic person. I call it for what it is. I'm calling balls and strikes. Okay. You might not like the strike call that I just called, but my intention is to call the strike when I see a strike thrown into the mid. So like if Kamala Harris or a Democrat was running this shit, we would have given another 4 years for China to load up and really, really take over. Trump is destroying them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good. Trump is destroying them. You guys have this weird take. Israel pushed Trump into this war. Have you heard Trump talk for the last 40 years? Trump has been saying for 40 years how countries have been treating the United States like absolute shit. He's talked about Japan treating the United States like absolute dog shit. He goes, I went over to Japan. I didn't see any American cars. But when I come to America, the Japanese have all their cars here because they don't want to take in our product. And they tariff us up the ass. He's been saying this. That was 30 years ago. Here you have a president that's trying to make this an even playing field. He's not started a new war. This war in Iran has been going on for the last 4 decades. You don't give terrorists money and think that by giving a terrorist organization money, their own money, since you guys want to get technical, giving back their own money doesn't mean that they're going to behave. No. They are set out to do one thing and one thing only. There's a reason why that region right now is supporting the United States of America. And it's not because of America's firepower. It's because they lived through hell with Iran there for the last 4 decades. The Saudis will tell you. Anybody normal will tell you. In that region, that Iran has been a thorn in everybody's side. They have been providing money, liquidity. For those from crypto, they have been providing liquidity to terrorist organizations to not only hurt Americans, but to hurt anybody that does not stand with them, or that stands with the United States of America or Israel.
Yeah, I'm going to address this real quick. So there's always people who are going to blame Israel and say that the Israelis are the ones pushing around the United States. No. I'm sorry. You're wrong. If that were the case, explain how the Israelis pushed us to go in and pluck Maduro out of bed. Explain how the Israelis were the ones behind the buildup of the armada in the Gulf regions for the United States. Explain how the Israelis were the ones that were setting the terms for United States and Iran negotiations. They weren't. All right. You're stupid if you think that's true. If you really think that Israel is so powerful that they are in control of the United States, then you have to have a bunch of logical fallacies that you're holding in your head all at once. The United States is in the driver's seat, and Israeli is ready to roll. The Israelis are ready to roll if we're ready to roll. They've been a big supporter, of course, because if you're going to go into a fight with somebody, you're either going to do it with yourself, which they were going to do either way. The United States could have stayed on the sideline. And you know what would have happened if the United States sat on the sidelines and Israel was the only one going at the Iranian regime right now? Everyone would have cried taco. Everyone would have said that, oh my God, we're not helping the Israelis. What a horrible person. Oh, Trump is evil. Look, these, yeah, and this is part of the fake right and woke left brain rot.
Look at this guy saying that I am because I'm Jewish. I think this way. Yeah. Have you not heard me from podcast to podcast?
For years.
I've been doing this for 10 years. Have you not heard my stance? I'm America first, something that you claim to be, but you're not. Okay? I am an American first. I don't care about any other country. I can promise you that. I am America first.
Yeah. I mean, if Jews ran the world,
I just happen to be Jewish.
Well, here's the other logical fallacy. Most of these people have no idea. They don't understand Israel at all. If Jews really ran the world, do you think that they would continuously want to get bombed for the past decade, 2 decades?
I said this already, Landy. Yesterday, people talk about Jews run mainstream media. If the Jews ran mainstream media, wouldn't they be pushing out like some sort of pro-Jewish stance?
Yeah.
Would you see anti-Jewish rhetoric? Like, would you see these protests that are going on mainstream media? No, you wouldn't see them. I'm thinking that Jews would make sure that you would see only positive things about them. You don't. The Jews don't run the media. Just because there are a few Jews in high positions, that doesn't mean shit. That does not mean shit. Most Jews, what is there, 15, 16 million Jews out here? Most Jews are poor. Respectfully, I say that. Well, and they're not in positions they're not in these positions that you think they're in. It's fucking hilarious. Well, you guys know nothing about Jews.
I really like to go back to who was it that funded the Muslim Brotherhood again? Oh, that's right. It was the Britons, the British. And
look,
who now look?
Can I take this guy to task? See, he says sending our money to Israel, like for instance, right? You know, Israel pays us, right? You know that money comes back to us. It's paid back, right? It's the same shit that you guys said about Argentina when we went ahead and sent them money, not knowing that they paid us back with interest. You guys
Also,
listen to Rachel
they buy
Maddow,
weapons. They
CNN.
pay for those.
Say that again.
They buy American weapons and they pay for
Of
those.
course.
And American contractors have been over in the Middle East and specifically utilizing Israel as a base of operations for many years. See,
It's
what a lot of
crazy
things,
that people don't see that is America's stance, is that Israel is a place where America can go ahead and make sure that they can land their fucking plane.
yeah. Well,
I'm
here's
keeping it very simple for you guys. Israel is protected because America can land their planes there, unlike our allies who tell us you cannot land here. Yeah,
Well-
we pay for their protection. Make it make sense.
I know,
We
right?
are paying for the protection of all these countries, and we cannot land on any of those bases.
You know, because a lot of these people have bought into, because they don't even know what the Talmud is. They buy that as scripture when it's actually debate, and Jewish law was actually not defined by the debate by the debates that they like to pick out. So they don't even understand what Jewish law is. They don't understand what the Talmud even is. But they love to quote it because they like to quote the actual arguments that were denied becoming Jewish law, which I think is hilarious. And I'm not Jewish, by the way, and I don't actually agree with a lot of the things that Bibi has done over the years.
I don't
But-
either. How many
but-
times have I said,
Yes,
Landy, how many times have we sat here and I said, I'm not a big fan of Bibi?
yeah. I mean, look,
How many times have I said that? I'm not a fan of Bibi.
if there's one thing that he has done is he has made sure that Israel has continued to project their power, and he's done so very successfully. And in this case, when you're looking at like this current conflict,
Yo,
there was like
Landy,
Israel.
you
forced our
want
hand.
somebody who will not stop in terms of war?
Oh yeah, that's
You're gonna
Bibi.
pick Bibi, right?
He's a crazy guy when it comes
He
to that. Yeah,
is.
very
like-
very well known for it.
I just feel like it's time for Israel to get somebody in place that is going to sit down and now start talking peace. And yeah, that's my viewpoint, and that's not going to be a popular viewpoint with a lot of my Jewish audience, man, and a lot of my Jewish friends. They watch the show, they're not going to
They
agree with
want
me
him.
on that.
They want him in. They want him to stay there. I mean, and that's not up to us, right? It's not.
It's not.
But
But I'm America first. Like I am America. The true standing of America. I am America
Yeah.
first. I care about this country. So if it means that Trump is right, by the way, and I'm sorry, Land. I don't mean to. I just don't want to lose this train of thought. You know, when people said that Iran doesn't have missiles that can go past 2,000 miles,
and he
when
said,
people
what?
said that Iran doesn't have the capabilities to build a nuclear weapon, what do we find out? That they do have these things.
And remember, State of the Union is where he said that they have the capability to strike London. They can strike deep into Europe. And they proved that capability on not really on Diego Garcia, but not really a significant target. But they proved out that he was right. And Trump is always right when it comes to this kind of stuff. And it's the fact is the media can't handle it. In fact, I wanted to bring this up real quick. It's gotten so bad that the media is already trying to shift gears right now. As we're speaking, like earlier, you had Lawrence O'Donnell now trying to shift gears away from the bullshit of yesterday that they were trying to pump out there to No Man Left Behind leaves out women. You can't say that, Pete Hegseth. This is how stupid they've gotten. They have to switch narratives off of Venezuela very quickly. They're going to have to switch narratives off of Iran when this conflict really does wrap up in earnest. And the other thing is, they people who claim that it's all about Israel, you can't explain why the United States is then why we want Greenland, because why does that how does that benefit Israel? That benefits the United States. How about securing our own continent, and the rest down south, right? How does that benefit Israel? The power dynamics, Israel actually is more aligned than ever with Gulf partners through the Abraham Accords, which includes Israel, because Israel was often excluded from a lot of this stuff because of Bibi, quite frankly. But now the Gulf partners realize that Israel is the strong military force that they can partner with in the region that will bring about security in that region when this is all said and done, because the United States is going to pull back from NATO. This is very clear. This is also opening up pathways for negotiations with Russia and getting them back into the actual system that they've been excluded from through sanctions. That is the next shoe to drop, and everyone knows it. But they're going to paint everything as taco, taco, taco to Russia. Taco. He's going to be a Russian agent again in a few months. Just so you know, he's going to be a puppet of Putin in just a few months. And then a puppet of Z when that's convenient, by the way, because you know that deals are coming. There's going to be a deal coming with Russia. It's already been cooking for a while. Everybody sees the wheels turning. And as soon as this is wrapped up, Russia's in a bad state right now. I've mentioned this a few times. No one's paying attention to what Ukraine has been doing to Russian infrastructure, what they've been doing in the Black Sea, they've been doing to Russian ships. They're on one right now, and they've severely damaged some of the energy infrastructure there. This is going to force Russia into a deal where they won't have to evade sanctions anymore, but there will have to be a peace deal that will come about under Trump. I'm calling it right here, right now, between Russia and Ukraine. And Ukraine's probably going to fight that peace deal, but there will be a peace deal. You're going to see positive trade talks coming out of Z in China. Why? Because they don't hold the damn cards. And people who try to undersell the United States have been wrong every single damn time. Because when we get a real leader that isn't going to kowtow to globalist interests, and we are the ones that protect global shipping lanes. We are the ones that project power around the globe. We are the ones with the strongest military in the world, the most advanced technology in the world. And if you think that we aren't, good luck. That's all I got to say. Good luck. Because I can say that because I've been right about this the entire time. David's been right about this the entire time. And it's all these feckless fucking morons that want to go around, pretend to be MAGA when it's convenient, or pretend to be lefties when it's convenient, and then completely have their narratives collapse around them, that then try to arbitrage those narratives to make something new, to move on from it really, really quick and not talk about how these things are all connected. They've been wrong consistently, and people like you and I have been right. And that's because they don't actually hold the real ideals of the United States and what it means to be a United States citizen or an American. They don't actually understand the issues in which they are speaking of. They think that they do because they're talking to paid experts all the time and or being paid themselves by foreign actors.
Correct.
And those here who are political operatives only are going to twist it in the aspect of, we need to get a political win out of this so that we can bring the United States back to the global table, to become to offload the United States power to Europe. And this is what was happening. And China was all for it, and Russia was all for it, and Iran and everybody else was all for it at the time, because they all get to benefit off the backs of Americans, even more so in the direction that we were headed. Right. But now, this is the other thing that the supposed Israel is forcing the United States to do. Did Israel force us to become the number one producer of oil and natural gas in the world?
Exactly.
How do you explain the energy independence and the pathway? Why was that done? Did Israel force us to do all of these tariffs on other countries and utilize them in trade negotiations? Wait, why did we become energy independent and a net energy exporter and the world's largest producer of oil and natural gas before the tariffs, right? Ramp up everything, take the chains off of production here, and then start specking out increased production, and increased investment into nuclear, and then of course, from the geopolitical standpoint, go ahead and explain how doing that and then negotiating with Iran, for since right after tariffs, what happened? We had energy production chains are taken off. We instantly became the number one producer within the first quarter, and then we had tariff implementation, right? And then negotiations, and then right after that, talks with Iran. Immediately, there was an effort being led by the Trump administration to have discussions with Iran about their nuclear capabilities and about their enrichment. This went from mid 2025 all the way until Midnight Hammer, and then they went really back to the table. And then earlier this year, it was like, okay, well, we got all this other stuff going on. Let's go ahead and handle a really big issue right at our doorstep, and that's Venezuela, right? And by virtue of knocking out Venezuela's leadership and getting Iran, Russia, and China out of there and handling the cartels as well in that area, because a lot of them got their funding from Iran, Russia, China. They got their chemicals for producing drugs. They got their tech and infrastructure, of command infrastructure. There was advisors on the ground with them as well to help them militarize the cartels, and now that's being dismantled. And then go right to the Middle East and take Iran on, for not negotiating and coming to the table and actually giving up what they so desperately wanted so that they could
Um,
project power. They don't.
here's
No one's
this
going to
just in
explain that.
though. The Iranian regime has officially announced that the closing the strait again,
Of course, yeah.
citing massive Israeli attacks in Lebanon, per AP. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
that was 34 minutes ago.
Well, one side doesn't know what the other side's doing, so who knows who actually says that.
The,
It's
the whole
really
thing is the problem is right now. It's what has been explained. There's I think there's like 31 divisions that were made within the Iranian regime. So
well,
like
that's just
one,
I mean, within the IRGC and military
yeah.
infrastructure, yeah,
So if
there's probably
one
even more.
gets killed off, then there's 30, then there's 29, 28. So
Yep.
like one might say there's a ceasefire, but
Well, it's
some of them might not acknowledge it. Whatever it is, I mean that this is what you're dealing with. This is exactly what you're dealing with, man.
well,
This is what you're dealing with. And you imagine if you allow them to get a nuclear weapon in their hands.
well, this
And
is
by the way, I also want to say I'm not happy with Israel right now.
well, they were also getting last night after the ceasefire was announced, they were also getting tons of rockets coming in. So I mean,
No, I saw
this was
that.
on mainstream media, so they struck
Yeah.
back. I don't know what they hit, but you also have a within the Iranian regime, likely a big power struggle happening right now, and it's all about who has the power to do what, right? And one side, and Trump is right when he talked about this. Like, yeah, it's communication is tough because, and then you have to verify and vet that they can actually do if they're reaching out claiming to be in some sort of position of power, can they actually make that deal happen because of how decentralized that infrastructure is in terms of the RGC and military infrastructure, because you're gonna get generals because everybody's a damn general. It's like Maduro. Everybody was a damn general, And why do they do this? A lot of people don't know why they do this. Well, the reason that they do this is to prevent a coup, right? It's
Yeah.
like Maduro, everybody was a general. They had their regions they were in charge of. They were autonomous. They can act on their own within reason. It was to prevent a coup. And it's the same thing with the Iranian regime, even how the IRGC and the military were constructed, and then the political class as well, and its separation from the IRGC regime, rather. So it's all about, and Trump and Hegseth acknowledged this yesterday. Like, it's going to be, we're still going to see things going on, right? Because it takes time for them to get the house in order, and we'll see who's actually speaking and who's actually doing what, likely within 24 hours, and we'll see what the United States response is to that. Also note that the United States didn't stop striking last night either. Even though there was a ceasefire, United States also continued to strike into Iran. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see how it plays out, but likely,
Breaking from our newsroom, Bibi just said that Israel is prepared to strike Iran at any time. That's just from our newsroom.
He likely said
somebody
that.
apparently somebody's bombing Iran right now, and they believe it's Israel.
Well, no one really knows, but I'm sure that they're picking up on, most OSNT, anybody who's OSNT rather, sorry, is likely just trying to ferret it out right now. Yeah, they're all just reporting.
I'm telling you right now, I can see Trump come out and say what he said before. Like when I see Trump coming out, and if Israel is going to impact the ceasefire, I can see Trump coming out and saying something.
Oh yeah, he'll read them the riot act for sure. And if this is, well, just yesterday, didn't Bibi say, or some of the Israeli regime said, yeah, no, we're going to abide by the ceasefire deal, but that they would be responding to those missile strikes. I believe that was coming out of Israeli media, because overnight for us here in the States, and overnight, because overnight for them and then overnight for us, they were talking about the strikes and the ballistic missiles that were being fired. So clearly, and I believe, I don't know if that was, somebody was tracking them coming from the northeastern side, which most air dominance is an air superiority, air dominance in certain sections and air superiority in most. But I don't think we've seen either Israeli or U.S. forces push
And you know what they got to do?
side.
You know what? And this is not me calling for it. This is just me just thinking out loud. Like, there is no negotiations with terrorists.
No, they're not going to negotiate.
And at this point, like, Trump, I know people like, so there are two sides. I agree that in the art of the deal is real with Trump. What he said yesterday shook people so hard that it made the ceasefire look like, oh my God, thank God. You get what I'm like? It went from, looking up to all the way being like having this even level. He has to. I'm telling. This is what's going to happen. This is what needs to happen. You're not going to negotiate with them. Can we agree with that? There's no negotiations.
Well,
Like, even if Israel doesn't come into the mix, there's no negotiations with them. Let's call it for what it is. Like, there's nobody there that is a month, 2 months down the road, we're back at this, right? I'm thinking.
well, this is the thing. What's gonna likely happen and what has been happening is they have been trying to reach out and negotiate with whoever they've identified as leadership there, right? Who actually can prove tangible leadership. Um, and if they don't stick to the plan, they're just going to be, well, gone. And they will continue working down that leadership structure until there's nothing left. That's what's
I
going to
just say
happen.
we have to go in and we do what we need to do. That's it.
You're just going to see that any elements of the regime that are willing to negotiate, if they even are a part of the regime, will be entertained. But the moment they step out of line, they're going to be taken out. That's it. That's going to happen.
I think like obviously it was to me it was like okay, and I still hope that it can happen, but like the United States of America runs that path and it runs the tray and like runs that and gets money from that. That's revenue that comes to the United States of America. That's cool. At this point though, like I don't know. I know I'm sitting back. I'm thinking like you just gotta take these motherfuckers out. You're just not gonna have peace.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think that, I think that the United States, and I've said this,
I can't see
this week
Trump right now in
for
the White
weeks.
House. Trump sitting in the White House right now, he's probably like, I should have went ahead and did this at 8 p.m.
Well, yeah. I mean, there
So
is,
you know that side of him. It's just like, you know what? I should have
yeah,
just, I gave you a
yeah.
chance. But now, like, if he does do this, the liberals are going to go fucking crazy.
Oh my
Like,
God.
right now, I can see
We're
the
gonna move
liberals
from taco
celebrating.
to war criminal in an instant.
Yeah.
Just wait.
No, but like the liberals are celebrating right now. They're like, I told you so. You see, they're celebrating. I'm reading the timeline.
Oh, they're the same ones that also said that we should have negotiated with the original regime, though. I thought that was their plan, was to negotiate with Khomeini. Yeah. I
Debt
thought
to
that
America.
they did nothing
That's what they
wrong.
say. Debt to America, and let's negotiate with people that chant debt to America.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is they can't hold this is how valueless they are. They can't hold these simultaneous beliefs and be honest, right? Because they instead of observing the situation and evaluating the actual situation as it's happening, they prescribe definitives, right? Like, no, they had no nuclear weapons. Well, first it was, remember, we didn't destroy it during Midnight Hammer. And then after we strike them, no, we destroyed it during Midnight Hammer. We should have been negotiating with them. And then it becomes, well, then they just start spewing out actual IRGC propaganda, which, by the way, they're really good at, right? Like, Iran has been really good at propaganda for many, many years. They perfected it. Russia's really good at it. China's really good at it, and they've shared a lot of similarities in the way that they approach propaganda as well, especially when it comes to online propaganda. Now, these same people that will say, look, you couldn't trust them. Well, now what do they say? They just said, are they going to say, oh, look, see, you can't trust them with a ceasefire, so they won? That doesn't make any sense. They're literally also, just because they say that they're going to close the Strait of Hormuz, um,
With what
how?
army?
Yeah. How are you going to do
Like I
that?
keep saying this, man. Like I keep thinking about this, Landy. Though I'll sit back and like every single time they say that, well, we're gonna close the
Who
strait. I'm
really
like, but
controls
what
the Strait
fucking
right now?
army?
Well,
You guys,
who really controls the Strait right now is the United States, from
yeah.
two
Like, what
vectors,
army do you got, man?
from the military side of things and the insurance side of things. Lloyd's doesn't want to step in. DFC still is not offering P&I, and all they have to do is offer P&I, and regardless of what the Iranian regime or whoever the talking head is at this point over there says, ships would move. They absolutely would move. This is something that is, I think, going to be when this does wrap up, because it will. When it does wrap up, what you're going to see is the United States is going to be in a very different position than we were in the Middle East, because prior we were protecting everything in the Middle East by power projection, going to war, and like all these different things, because we were also dependent on the oil and gas in the region. We are no longer dependent on that oil and gas. But while we were protecting global shipping lanes, London was making a boatload of money that we saw nothing of. And we spent money to protect global shipping lanes, while London sat back, decreased the size of their military, especially their navy, which is dire, by the way, for those of you in Britain. Um, they decreased the size of their navy, and they didn't upkeep anything. Um, and but they benefited monetarily the entire time, especially when it came to shipping, when you're looking at Lloyd's. And now the United States is muscled in there on and will expand that program for insurance. We will maintain a presence there while shifting towards security, being headed up, both in policy and likely eventually militarily, with the Gulf states. That's going to happen. That's the way things are going. And this will allow also those Gulf states to get out of a bit of a pickle themselves and start to diversify their economies, which is something that they really need to do. And Trump has offered that pathway for them. So that's why it's going to happen in that manner. And Trump has made it very clear that our allies have failed us more times than not at this point. And in many cases, it's been through the policy side of things. And now NATO really does need and is proven through this conflict. They've been exposed. A lot of NATO nations need the United States. So what we're going to see is a lot of different alliances forming, and likely NATO not being what it once was, in the manner that it once was, with the full backing of the United States, militarily and financially. And I think that you're going to start seeing new alliances be born out of that. And the global geopolitical environment is going to change drastically. It's changing right now in real time. But I think we won't know the full effects or understand those full effects until a lot of this operations wrapped up and we see what happens in South America, because there's still some work to be done. Also, there's some South American countries that might make a move on some territories that were and maybe still are British. So that's going to be bubbling up here pretty soon.
Welcome to the breakdown, episode 697, sponsored by Midnight, sponsored by Polymarket, the official prediction market sponsor of the breakdown on the DG brand, Cake Wallet, and the People's Reserve. Want to thank everybody for tuning in here today. We are on a 3-day ban here on TikTok. That's right. TikTok has banned me for 3 days because we went and played Trump's press conference on Monday, where he called, or he stated that Kim Jong-un went ahead and called former President Biden a mentally retarded person. And for that, we were slapped on the wrist, which is weird. On episode 700, I will be naked. So tune in as the breakdown, episode 700. I will be wearing my birthday suit. That's right. I'll be wearing my birthday suit. Ladies, get prepared. And even gentlemen, get prepared. We'll be right back right after this commercial break. Actually, let me just say, Landy, thank you so much. I appreciate you for for joining us today. By the way, just want to let everybody know, Landy, tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can go ahead and catch the market update with Landy for 20 to 30 minutes. Landy will break down the markets. He'll probably get into a little bit of this war situation because it does have an impact on the markets. So tune in. Again, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll have Landy back here tomorrow. We will go a little bit deeper into the market conversation. But again, right now, it's all about the ceasefire. And I appreciate, Landy coming on and chatting it up with me here. Landy, have fun tonight. I'll also be on Rob Nelson's show at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, at 8 o'clock, I think. 8 o'clock.
8
I'll be
o'clock?
on that at 8 o'clock p.m. And I'm sure I'll be talking about this subject as well. Again, we'll be talking
Probably.
about the ceasefire. Yeah, we'll probably going there. Probably
Well, I
that's
appreciate you, David.
much respect to you, Landy. The greatest TA chartist of all time, Landy. If you don't know, now you know. Landy, I'll talk to you later.
All right, take care, David.
And with that, we'll go to commercial break. That was Landy. Everybody, please tune into Landy. Landy is a part of Gokhshtein Media. You should see, if you have not tuned into Landy and if you have not seen him break down the charts, then you are missing something. Okay, you are missing something. You could be ahead of the game, and it's free. And it's free to tune in free. We got a lot of things that we're working on with Gokhshtein Media. A lot of products that will be coming out from Gokhshtein Media. A lot of things that will help you, benefit you from the crypto financial aspect. And it's not financial advice, it's more education, but it'll benefit you from the crypto side of things, TriFi and all that good stuff. And then we have some incredible products that I can't wait to go ahead and show off. I really can't wait to show off. Anyway, we'll be right back right after this commercial break.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome back to the breakdown, episode 697. I said I'll get naked I'd get naked on 700. Episode 700, I might come on naked. I don't know. No, I don't know if that's all right. Yeah, I'm laughing. You know, I did come on naked onto the show. I won't tell you the episode, but I was naked on the show at one point. I was naked on the show. Welcome back, episode 697. Where obviously we talked about the markets. I listen. The markets are affected by this entire situation in Iran, 100%. Like this, the markets. You saw the markets went absolutely through the roof when the ceasefire was called, and now we have reports coming in that Iran wants to, shut down the Strait. I don't know with what army though. Like every single time they say that, I'm like, what army? Like, what do we? You guys don't have an army left. Like we've taken everything out. But okay. But anytime they say that, it affects the markets. Israel has been absolutely bombing the hell out of Lebanon. Israel wasn't at the table. Israel wasn't at the table when they negotiated apparently the ceasefire. Also, reports coming in that the United States and China have talked. Top level officials have talked about the ceasefire and the situation in Iran. So a lot of people are starting to jump into the mix. A lot of countries are now calling us to jump into the mix. NATO, obviously, the press secretary is out there right now, and she's saying that President Trump is fuming at NATO. Like, they did not help. And now they want to come in when there's a ceasefire and they want to sit at the table. No. You're not sitting at any table. That's what I would say if I'm the president. You're not sitting at any table. You didn't help us. Don't help us now. Like, when we came to this point without you. We don't need you, kind of thing. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. That's absolutely what I would say. Now I feel very uncomfortable because I said I'm going to get naked for episode 700, and I feel like there are a bunch of people staring at me right now through my suit. I feel uncomfortable. This show is sponsored by Midnight. Somebody said privacy doesn't matter. So the only person that would say that, or the only individual that would say privacy doesn't matter, is somebody who has no skin in the game when it comes to crypto, has like one airdrop that they luckily, were a part of. So they wouldn't give a fuck about privacy and shit, right? But for those who have money, care about privacy. Like, it's not evading anybody. It's just like you care about your privacy. Nobody knows what you have in the bank. And it should be the same way with crypto. I think that's one thing. That's one thing we forgot about. I really think in the grand scheme of things that's one thing that we forgot about when we built this entire environment. It's just like, hey, at some point we're going to get so big that you need privacy. Like, you obviously need privacy. If companies, big companies, small businesses are going to use crypto, they can't perform these actions on chain where it's visible to the entire staff. Like, that causes chaos. I've talked about this numerous times. Shout out to Polymarket. Polymarket is the official prediction market sponsor of the DG brand and also the breakdown. If you want to get in contact with me, davidgockstein.com, that's where you can go. davidgockstein.com, that's exactly where you can go. There's a form you can fill out if you want to be a part of this show. Go fill out that form. If you want to partner with the brand, fill out that form. Everything's on davidgockstein.com. And if you can't spell it, just go to my handle. That's it. My handle. Or ask Grok to help you out with the spelling. Grok or some ChatGPT, Google Gemini, shit like that. You can ask that. Shout out to Cake Wallet, obviously one of the most secure wallets that you can find in the space. Vic, Seth, and the entire team has built a phenomenal product along with Cake Pay, which we will get into Cake Pay this month. Use your crypto to buy things because that's the purpose of crypto, and it has been the purpose of the crypto. Peer-to-peer transactions, that has been the purpose. Americans were spoiled. We're spoiled to go ahead and DCA and hold for that $1 million tag on Bitcoin, right? Because everybody goes around, all the institutions are on CNBC, Fox, and they're saying Bitcoin's going to $1 million. We had, Michael Saylor was on here. He said within 4 to 8 years, that mark is going to be easily attainable. So people are holding their Bitcoin and waiting for that, waiting for that price point. So Americans really don't have any, and especially with the rules and regulations, the way they're set up, they have no incentive to spend crypto because if they spend it, they'll get taxed. And then plus you might miss out on the $1 million, evaluation on Bitcoin in the next 4 to 8 years. Liquidity's on the sidelines. I've been talking about this. I've said this. And what happened yesterday? Ceasefire, money came in. prices went up. I'm telling you, liquidity's on the sideline. There are people with money waiting to get in. There are people with money waiting to get in. But they're trying to figure out, when is this all going to end? When is this situation in Iran going to calm down? As soon as the situation in Iran calms down, it's go time, I'm telling you. It is going to be go time. America's going to win. Regardless of how you feel, like whether you're an American or not, America's going to win. Trump is going to lead us to victory. That's right. President Trump is going to lead us to victory. One of the greatest presidents of all time is going to make sure that he leads this country to victory. Because he's one of the first presidents that actually says America first. Think about that. One of the first presidents that puts America first, that congratulates our military, that holds parades for our military. That's right. President Donald Trump. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Has fought for the American people. It's crazy. You know what? I think a decade or two from now, people will realize, hey, we really had a good president. And we hated him, not me, but you hated him for the wrong reasons. Because mainstream media brainwashed you to dislike this person. And people can do that. It's kind of like, think about it. It's like you hated Michael Jordan. You hated Kobe. They weren't on your team. You hated them. But when they retired, a few years later, you grew some appreciation towards the individuals. I feel the same thing will happen with Trump. Whether you think that's a bad analogy or not, you will have that. Trump throws you off because you're not used to it. Like for me, the language, the way he speaks, I'm used to it. I'm from New York City. That's where I was born. I miss New York City, and I hate to see what has become, but the language that Trump uses, the way he speaks, we're used to it. We're accustomed to it. You're not. You hear it, you're like, oh, blown away. What the fuck is this? How can a person speak like this? Like yesterday's tweet about, I'm going to absolutely wipe this civilization off the face of this planet kind of thing, and I'm paraphrasing there. That took you, oh my God. Can't believe he said that. Can't believe he said it. Oh my God, he said it. We're going to miss Trump, man, because we're going to get a president in here that doesn't speak like Trump. Doesn't have, well, I hope J.D. Vance and Rubio, I hope Donald Trump, I hope they learn from him. And of course, do it their way, but I hope they learn a little bit from him. I can't imagine a Democrat in office and what they would do to the United States of America. Respectfully, the new Democrat is horrible. All we have to do look at is California. Like, look at California. Respectfully. I have a lot of friends in California. Respectfully, though, like, California's crazy. The wealth tax and all they do is tax. Nothing's fixed, though. They'll tax you up the yin yang, but nothing's fixed. And that's why they're losing people. A lot of wealthy people are leaving. How can you live in that state? Like, you have to make, I think you have to make like $20 million per year in order to live there, because like you get to keep 10% of that. So that just, I don't know if that bodes well. But that goes for that goes for California and New York. Like, how can you live in these two states? How can you live in a blue state? All they do is tax. You breathe air tax. Like, it's crazy. Oxygen tax. It's wild. It's wild. It is wild. This war is wild. This war is wild. Again, I'm sitting here right now and I feel like people are looking through my suit ever since I stated that. Ever since I stated that. Let's look at the news right now. Spain's prime minister has called on the European Union to suspend its association agreement with Israel following Israel's strikes on Lebanon. So there you go. That's just in. The prime minister of Spain, who has absolutely no balls, has now called for the European Union to suspend its. I just had it here and then it fucking disappeared. Basically, it's association with Israel. So I got to say this on Israel's part. Israel obviously has the right to exist, and that's my opinion, and I don't give a fuck what you guys think. Israel has the right to exist. Do I like Bibi? Again, I've already made my thoughts be known about Bibi. If you watch this program, you already know my thoughts on Bibi. You already should know them. I hope that new leadership comes in at the end of the day and there's peace in that region. I really do hope that is the case one day. Whether that'll ever happen, I don't know. But I pray for that. But Bibi's the only guy that you want in power when you have situations like this. Otherwise, I don't know. I just don't know. But there's a ceasefire. Trump reaches a ceasefire agreement. Israel wasn't at the table for it. Okay. And here goes Israel just fucking destroying Lebanon, even though the people of Lebanon want this to happen because they hate Hezbollah. But now Iran has an excuse to go ahead and start the bullshit again because they're so fractured. That's the problem. You got fractured leadership. There is no leader. And apparently the supreme leader, is missing legs and an arm and is all fucked up. So apparently this is what's coming out. So who's leading Iran? Nobody knows. I don't know the leadership. Of course, probably the White House knows, but I don't know. You don't know. This is us just guessing. That I got to tell you, Europe and the Middle East have consistently fought throughout the history of mankind. It is crazy. Through the history of mankind, there has been nothing but war on that side of the world. It is wild. Every nation, you notice every nation taking over, new nations taking over land. It's wild. Just wild to think about. It's absolutely wild. Crypto will be good, man. You know what? Yesterday, just confirmed all my research that I've been doing for the last couple of months. That crypto will come back. It'll come back stronger than ever. I think we'll have altcoin season. Our favorite memes will do absolutely well, and obviously Bitcoin. I see Bitcoin smashing through the $200,000 area, 100%. And that is not me being a bull tart. That's me being realistic. I don't know what platform we're going to be using, though, because apparently X is doing everything to just eliminate crypto Twitter. I feel that way. I feel like forget about everybody else. Forget about political Twitter. Forget about, sports Twitter. It's like it's been homed in on crypto Twitter to absolutely get rid of a place that I believe is awesome. What has been built in crypto Twitter, just because a few assholes are a part of crypto Twitter, it's not fair to destroy it. We built a really special place. If it wasn't for crypto Twitter, I don't know. I don't know where crypto would be. And I'm being serious. I'm not being dramatic. I don't know where crypto would be without crypto Twitter. We helped build crypto. Every one of us had a part in building crypto. And now I'm seeing it being destroyed. For what reason? I don't know. What is the agenda? What is the agenda? Because there's a few bad apples here? Okay. Every industry has a few bad apples. Now what? Now we tear it down the industry? Why aren't we going after political influencers that are being paid off, that are basically unregistered agents, that are being paid off to spew propaganda from from Russia, from China, from Iran. Like, why aren't we doing the same there? Why is it only focused on crypto Twitter? It's very, very disappointing. Very disappointing to watch, especially that, again, we built this place and it's a good place with good human beings, with good actors, with brands that come onto this platform every single day and they talk about crypto and they break it down for the general public so they have a better understanding of what cryptocurrencies are and what Bitcoin is. So I don't understand the attack. It's weird. I don't understand the attack. That's why I'm on multiple platforms, building my own platform as well now to make sure that everybody knows where to find me when it comes to my audience. Tomorrow we'll be back on TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. We'll be back on TikTok. It will be tomorrow. I will have served my 3 days. I can't believe I got suspended, man. I should just show up on TikTok naked. I should really just come on TikTok naked just for like see if what do they'll do? They'll suspend me for what? Showing my body? Anyway, welcome to the breakdown episode. This is episode 697. I want to give a shout out to Getter. Getter has been, I got to tell you, there are some platforms that we're on right now, and I can't wait to get onto Instagram and Facebook. That should be any day now. But once we get on there are a lot of social media platforms that we're on now where we're verified. Kick, shout out to Kick. I'm a partner. Kick partner. I'm on with the Kick partnership program. Where they allow you to speak your mind, and the platform is really good, and I don't know, people are more talkative. TikTok by far runs shit. I got to tell you, my TikTok audience, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's that my ex audience kind of like switched off to TikTok or whatnot, but it's been fun on there. And people are like, you could do so many things on there, but again, like they got to lift some of these rules, man. Like if I'm doing this show, I'm doing this show every single day, and we cut in live to President Trump's speech. And President Trump comes onto the mic and says he had a conversation with Kim Jong-un, and they were talking about, Kim Jong-un went ahead and made a statement that President Biden was a mentally retarded person. That should not affect me. That should not affect my account. And because I laughed, well, I'm sorry. I didn't fucking expect, Trump to say that shit. So yeah, I laughed. It was just it was a laugh. I felt like I was at a comedy club. You didn't, you expect to laugh at a cop, but you get what I'm saying, right? You get where I'm going with this. It was unexpected. That's why I fucking laughed. Fucking funny. It was funny. If somebody called me retarded, I wouldn't take offense to it. So what? I kind of am sometimes. So what? Oh my God. Like, I'm so offended. Like, okay. I'm sure people watch me and call me retarded. I'm pretty sure that happens. Anyway, we'll be right back right after this commercial break.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's where we build Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, it's live. We're live here. The press secretary said that Donald Trump took that 10-point proposal or the 10-point plan that CNN reported on, and he threw it into the goddamn trash. The same shit that CNN reported on, which was fake news. The idea, basically, she said the idea that President Trump would ever accept an Iranian wish list as a deal is completely absurd. The one that's circulating is not the one Trump said was workable for negotiations. Fake news. The Iranians originally put forth a 10-point plan that was fundamentally unserious, unacceptable, and completely disregarded. It was literally thrown in the garbage by President Trump and his negotiating team. Many outlets in this room have falsely reported on that plan as being acceptable to the United States of America, and that is false. So, there you go. That's what I'm saying. We got a lot of Americans that have been paid off by China, Russia, Iran. We can go down the goddamn list, and I don't believe they should be in America anymore. Like, they should be deported. Like, they are not Americans. The whole we're Americans, we're America first. No, you're not. No, you're not. CNN garbage, absolute garbage. I don't even know how Scott Jennings sits there on the panel. Like, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he can sit there and allow Abby Phillips to make those faces. It's terrible. Like you got to watch some of this shit. It's absolutely terrible. Terrible. "52 minutes ago, it has been revealed that for the first time since the war started, the Supreme Leader on Monday ordered his people to negotiate towards a deal with the United States of America while Trump's deadline loomed. Trump forced their hands in a masterclass." It's true. Ugh. I go back to it. What army? What army does Iran have left? They don't have an army left. They don't. The United States of America has absolutely taken out like 90% of whatever they had. So they have 10% left. That country's big. Like, if they want to fuck around and find out, they will find out. I'm telling you, I have a feeling Trump might deliver what you guys have been waiting for. All the liberals, the far left psychopaths that think Trump won't do it, your whole taco thing. If you think Trump won't do something that benefits the United States of America, you should think again. And I think you guys want him to do it so you can have a talking point. It's crazy that we're here talking about something like this. Imagine You have people within the United States of America that are rooting against the president, that are rooting against the United States of America. I didn't think it would happen. I didn't think this kind of shit would happen. I honestly, I'm very 100% disappointed. And especially like Americans with microphones. And what I mean by that is Americans with brands. I'm talking about with a platform. These influencers are going out there with their chest out and they're, I get it. I'm not saying you can't be critical of Donald Trump. You can't be critical of the administration, but to be critical to the point where you are literally siding with Iran is fucking crazy. It's like, I can't believe this is fucking America right now. I really can't believe it. I'm anti-war. I keep saying this. I hope for peace. I'd rather people negotiate at the table than bombs being dropped. You can't negotiate with terrorists. You understand this, right? Terrorists are willing to give up their lives for whatever cause they have. Like, you can't negotiate with them. I don't know where you get this fairy tales. A lot of people have this fairy tale where you can sit down with terrorists and negotiate with terrorists. You can't. They have one way of thinking. That's it. It's the truth. That's the way they think. If a person's willing to strap a bomb on themselves, how are you negotiating with them? We're just having common sense talk. If a person's willing to strap a bomb on themselves, you actually think they're willing to negotiate with you? No, they're not. They're not. It's either their way or the highway. And their highway is that I'm taking everybody with me kind of thing. That's crazy. That's crazy. To see so many people, though, with platforms, that are pushing this propaganda, like, it is wild. It's very, very disappointing, especially, like, I'm a proud American. To see this shit, it's just like, it is absolutely disgusting. And I get it. You don't like Trump. Okay, but do you love America? That's my question. Do you love America? I mean, like I said in the beginning, if it was Obama in office, if it was Bill Clinton, if it was Bush, it was Biden, I'd still be supporting America. This is the land I love, and I stand beside her and guide her, right? Like the Pledge of Allegiance kind of thing. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be against Biden, and I wouldn't be against Obama, man. Like, okay, this is the decision that they made. They represent us as Americans. Do we agree with everything that they do? Do I agree with everything that Trump does? No, but like, these are our leaders. They were elected by the people. We need to stand by our leaders and not look weak. I don't know. Maybe the thinking has changed, but this is what I call we're in the era of where people just scroll and doom scroll for hours, and they read or they watch videos of people, giving these conspiracy theories, and you're getting brainwashed, and these young kids are going to school being taught by liberal professors, far right, left liberal professors, about society and how what Charlie Kirk was doing was all right, and he was bad, and he was causing a ruckus when he was just having conversations with college kids, having normal civilized debates. That's that's the whole point. Talking, at this point, the radical left has gone so far as to saying, like, if you don't agree with them, then the talks are like racist and they're full of bigotry, like, which are not. This is, my thing when I battle people on the internet, and I don't mean to use the word battle, but it comes off that way. I don't get upset with your opinion. I don't. Like, when we're going toe to toe, like, I don't get upset with your opinion. You're entitled to it. You shouldn't get upset with mine. But you guys get frustrated. The first thing you do is you Jew, you Stein. Like, that doesn't bother me. That's already been said, so it's watered down. So, like, now, okay, getting past that, what else are you bringing to the table? Anger? You're just angry. I every single time I'm on social media and somebody doesn't agree with me, they turn to being angry. Okay, you can troll me being angry. You're not hurting me in any way. You're not. You lack the ability to have a conversation. You lack the ability of being open-minded. I'm open-minded. I can listen, 2 ears, 1 mouth. I sit back and okay, there, you got a point there. We might agree here. We'll disagree here. That's conversation. That's grown man talk. Grown man type of conversations, not some little bitch running around here fucking trolling and thinking that you're going to, what are you going to tell your mommy that you won a medal? Mommy, guess what I did today? I trolled David on the internet. Oh my God. It's because he has a big brand and I trolled him, Mommy. The fuck, you gonna get a trophy for that, man? You'll put a trophy up on your wall? Oh my God, I trolled David on April 8th, 2026 at 2:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look, Mommy, I got one award. That's what's wrong with our country. The whole participation award bullshit. That every kid gets a participation award. Everybody gets an award for participating in the goddamn contest. Like that's been the problem in America. All this shit, that the pronouns, the participation awards. There was no participation awards when I was growing up and we were playing sports. First, second, and third. First, second, and third. There was no fourth, sixth, eighth place. You weren't excited to come. Who the fuck was excited to come home? Fucking last place trophy. Oh, look what I got. I came in last place, Mommy. What? What are we fucking talking? Last place. Yeah, I came in last place. I strive to be number one all the time. I didn't strive to be a part of the game. What are we talking about? This generation is soft as fuck. Soft as shit. This generation is absolutely soft as shit. Can't have a conversation because it turns into screaming. Screaming like a bunch of little bitches. That's what it is. You ever try to talk to somebody? Whether it's on Spaces or like, I don't know, outside? A lot of you guys don't go outside, so it's either Spaces for you is the only, or a Clubhouse, any voice protocol. Have you tried? Motherfuckers don't agree with you. They're just like, what? What is happening? Are you okay? Are you okay? These are men. That's why women are not married. Look at the selection of men. Look at the selection of men they got. You got men that act like females. Of course they're you got women coming out here, man. Well, listen, it's their fault also, but a lot of women are like, yo, I'm unmarried, I'm 40. Yeah, I understand why. I totally understand why. I get it. There's not a lot of selection out here. A lot of the women in this relationship, right? If they get into these relationships, it's the women that are waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to see if somebody's robbing their house or some shit. It's not the guy. That's what it's turned into. The guy's the bitch. The dude's the bitch. Honey, go check. I think I hear something. That's so fucking true. It is so true. Oh my God. AI, by the way, apparently Claude has come out with a new, so Claude has something that they don't want to come out with because apparently it is so powerful that it can go ahead and hack into any goddamn fucking protocol or system. And then they came out with something else today. A bunch of like, I don't know, like, let me read it. They introduced Claude managed agents, everything you need to build and deploy agents at scale. It pairs an agent harness tuned for the performance with production infrastructure so you can go from prototype to launch in days. Now public beta on the Claude platform. So there you go. I mean, they're just killing. They killed 1,000 startups with that one. Claude is like absolutely dominating. Though there was a report that Claude has dumbed down its models by 63%. So I don't know if that's true or not, but apparently that's been put out there that Claude has dumbed down its models to make its newest models seem like they are absolutely amazing. So we know Claude, though. Claude is amazing at coding. If there is one, when you look at all these LLMs, at the end of the day, Claude is amazing at coding. I think ChatGPT is really good at, or I would say probably Google Gemini is great at writing. And ChatGPT is good at putting things together, a game plan. So those are the three. I mean, at the end of the day, those are the three that you're looking at. Those are the top three dogs in the game. Definitely would not count out Google's Gemini product. But there you go. On the AI, if you're not using AI, by the way, if you got a business and you're not using AI, if you're not learning it, you lost the plot. You've lost the plot. This is like somebody once said, this is like getting into Bitcoin early. I agree with that. It's like getting into Bitcoin early right now. Everybody has a phenomenal opportunity. Like if you've had ideas in your life that you knew like would cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars to implement, you can do it now. Like you can really come up with something really cool and have it built it out for you. You really can. You really can. I'm building out my entire organization right now. My entire organization is being built out by a lot of these products. I'm more effective and productive with these products. I have more time to get on calls, partnership calls, whatever it is. It's given me more time. And I've taken this time to build the brand. And I got to thank Michael Saylor, because Michael Saylor, I was sitting there during our interview and he said he used AI to build out his products. Something that would have taken him 6 or 8 months, he did, I think, in the span of a week or a month. It was done quickly. And he built out products for strategy. So that day, I was like, again, 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? Sometimes you go ahead and listen to what others have, put out there and created. Anyway, anyway, I'm 32 minutes past my time here with you guys today. It is 2:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be back tomorrow. It will be episode 698. And at that point, we'll be 2 episodes away where I could potentially be naked on episode 700. Potentially. There's a potential. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should open up an OnlyFans. Maybe I do an OnlyFans and show off the artwork. Pray for peace. That's what we need to do. Pray for peace so our markets can come back and so we can sit in a goddamn circle and sing Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Imagine we could just sit all in a circle. And just sing Kumbaya. Imagine we can watch as our crypto that we hold go parabolic. We had a rocket go around the moon. We need to send our crypto to the moon. We always say that we need this shit to moon already. We do need it to take off already, man. Enough of these wars, bro. We came here for crypto. Enough of these wars. But I'm still pissed off about what I'm seeing on social media, though. I really am. We'll touch on AI. We'll touch on... Yeah, I'm not sitting in the woods with any of you motherfuckers. You guys are psychopaths. I'm scared of every single one of you guys. I'm not scared to fight y'all. I'm just scared I don't know, man. You guys are psychopaths. I've seen people at conferences where I looked at them and I thought to myself, this is the type of dude that will put a bowl in your mouth and put you in the goddamn trunk of his car and have you kidnapped for the next fucking 30 years, stuck in a goddamn basement, feeding you out of a dog bowl. And that's what I think of some of you guys, man. I really do. When I've seen you in person, I thought the first reaction, I remember the first dude that came up to me and said, "Hey, Dave, it's me." And I'm like, I have no clue who this person is. Like, it's me. And I shook hands with them. I'm like, man, I looked at this person. I was like, this person would definitely put me into the trunk of their car, put a bowl in my mouth, and I'd be in their basement. Nobody would hear me, and they'd be feeding me. They put a chain in on my neck, and they'd be feeding me out of a dog bowl. Like, that's the first reaction I got. That is the first reaction. That is the first reaction I got, man. Sitting at these conferences, watching these women getting attacked. When I mean attacked, it's like Revenge of the Nerds. The things that they would say. Somebody's commenting from Kick. Trump's best president all time says that there's a streamer right next to yours deleting who won the Iran war. He's basically a traitor producing propaganda for Iran. Listen, they're all doing that right now. They're all doing that right now. This is nothing new. They're all doing exactly that. They're coming out here and they're showing who they are. Some of the people that I used to tune into to listen to are now, it's not because, oh my God, anything that Trump does, I kiss his ass on. No. I don't know how many times I have to say it. I've disagreed with a lot of things that Trump has done. I agree with 90 to 95% of the things he does, but 5% of the shit, maybe 10% of the shit, I'm not in agreement. But that's the president. That is the president of the United States of America. And hopefully the decisions that he makes pans out. That's it. That's what you hope for. The decisions that he makes are to the benefit of the United States of America and its people, the American citizens. That's it. But now I get to see there's a lot of influencers, a lot of political influencers that are being paid. It has to be. They're being paid off. You can't switch up like that. It's impossible. It is impossible. The only way you switch up like that on somebody is if that person did something to you. That's the kind of, you guys understand, like you guys know, like in your lives, you've had a person, you've been friends with somebody and they switched up on you. Now, like if they switched up, now you have a different, kind of have a different viewpoint of them. Now you want to, like, now you want to say shitty shit about them. If you're that type of person that wants to mouth off, well, now you want to come on and talk shitty about them. So, but like with the political shit, like the fake MAGA influencers, nah, like they were never MAGA to begin with. They were fucking Democratic plants, or they got paid off. Like, look at their previous content to now. It's like, it's weird. It's very weird. You definitely got a payment, or Trump actually came into your face and said, "Yo, I don't like you. Shut the fuck up," and he slapped you, or you came over your house and you slapped your girl in your ass. Like, yeah. There's a perfect example. It's like Trump came into your house, slapped your girl in the ass, took your lunch, sat on your couch with his dirty ass sneakers on, watched the show, and left the door open. That's the only way. That's the only way I can envision you being mad at him without taking a payment. That he smacked your girl in the ass, or he took your girl from you. I don't know. But to do a 180, the 180s that are being done, it's remarkable. They're saying that Iran won the war. We decimated them. We have liberal media producing propaganda and actively helping Iran. They should be thrown in jail. Yeah, I agree with that. I've been saying that the entire program. And they got influencers here with platforms that are pushing this propaganda out here. Americans, people that are calling themselves Americans and America first and all this shit, they are pushing absolute propaganda out here. They went and took CNN's bullshit fucking article and post and pushed it and said that America lost, when that was not the agreement that Trump agreed to in terms of the ceasefire. But here you are, you have Americans that said we lost, and they were celebrating this. They literally celebrated this. And I'm watching, I'm like, wow, Americans celebrating America hypothetically getting defeated. Where am I right now? All traitors should be deported. I don't care what anybody thinks of that line. I don't care what you think of me after me saying that. But if you are not loyal to the United States of America, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. Let's put Trump to the side. If you're not loyal to the United States of America and its military, you should be deported. 100%. Let's bring in the people waiting in line to come into this country, because they will be more productive individuals in the United States of America, and they will be loyal to the United States of America. That's all I got to say about that. I'm not saying you can't disagree with Trump. So you see, people will take it out of context. I'm not saying you can't disagree with Trump. I am saying that if you're not loyal to America, if you're rooting against our military, if you want to see us lose against a terrorist regime, that's where I'm saying like we need to get rid of you. Like, we need to deport you, whether it's back to Europe, wherever you came from. We need to get rid of you. Nothing that I said is bad. Like, you think this would go on in any Russia, China? You think you would be able to do this? No, you would not be able to do this in China or Russia. You'd be out. You'd be out. Listen, at the end of the day, with the Epstein files, they're already released. It's up to the politicians to release them now. That's all I can say. It's up to the politicians. You know, everybody gets on Trump, but Trump signed off on all the files to be released. So it's literally up to Congress now to release this shit. If the American people want this so bad, I don't care about I'm being serious. I don't care about the files. I care about things being done, because files are great, but what's going to be done? And then you have to give time, because I know a lot of you guys don't know how the legal system works, but you need to give time for these things to happen. You can't just arrest somebody for no reason without any proof or evidence. Like, you can't do that. I'm sure they're building their cases. No, people want it immediately. Like, what? How can you? But then you guys are so funny. You want it immediately. If it's done immediately, then you'll be like, oh, how can that be? You're weaponizing the legal system. That he cannot. I'm telling you right now, Trump cannot win. Trump, no matter what he does, he cannot win. Yesterday, he just showed it. You had Democrats screaming that he's going to annihilate, throw a nuclear bomb on Iran. He doesn't do it. They say taco. Like, you can't win with these people. They're brain damaged. They have literal brain damage. They need therapy. And that's what we should focus on. We need to open up mental health centers. They need to give out free therapists to these individuals to get their minds back. I'm serious. Like, they are fucked up. They are fucked up in the head. Absolutely fucked up. It's funny. Trump was the guy who reported, like, if you want, you can call Trump a snitch, right? Because Trump went and reported Epstein. One of the first people to report Epstein was Trump. And here you have a bunch of people, I'm telling you, deranged people that have been brainwashed, and they're like pointing the finger at Trump. I'm going to say this again. If the Democrats had anything on Trump, they would have put it out there. And if there was something real and concrete on Trump, I would have never voted for Trump. I would never have supported him. So there you go. And I think every sane Republican would have done the same. We have never backed Trump if he was a part of this demonic ring that Epstein set up. That's it. It's very simple to any normal, rational person, whether you're a Democrat, a Libertarian, whatever you are, whatever party affiliation. What I just said would get through to a normal human being in a normal human being type of conversation here. That's all I can say. It is damn. Here we go. Trump made a statement. Hold on. Is this? No. No, he didn't make a statement. Hold on, but let me see if he did. Give me a second. By the way, this is coming from the Gokhshtein newsroom. The Fed's sticking with a rate cut planned for this year, even amidst the war that's happening right now, as their minutes indicate. So, let's see. This is what I mean about Mario Nawfal. This man is owned. There's no doubt about it. He is owned by a certain group. Here it goes. Yesterday, this is one of his posts. Trump yesterday, we received a 10-point proposal from Iran, and we received it as a workable basis on which to negotiate. The press secretary today said Iran's original 10-point plan was thrown in the garbage. Trump now, there is only one group of meaningful points that are acceptable to the US, and we will be discussing them behind closed doors. So he's saying that Israel is calling the shots. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I gotta write back. Bro, you're really paid off. That dude is really paid off, man. Yo, it's funny. Like, some of these people try to do Grok, but they don't pay for premium plus. They're like, Grok, what have we from the US, which is official? And okay, I can't even fucking read what you said. Learn how to fucking spell. Anyway. Okay. I'm going to say this again. Trump is uncontrollable. Israel will never be able to control Trump. No matter what you guys think. You are never going to be able to control Trump. Nobody on this planet. I don't even think his wife can. I don't think Melania can control Trump. I think the only person that can possibly get into Trump's ear is Barron. Barron could probably get into Trump's ear and say, Dad, chill. I really think so. Even more than Don Jr. and, respectfully, or Eric. I feel like, I don't know, maybe his kids could. Maybe Ivanka could. I don't know. But nobody, not a lot of people can get into his ear and tell him what to do. Especially Bibi or Israel. Like, that whole propaganda push is crazy. I'm telling you that right now, man. I'm telling you. You'll see. I'm going to be right on this. When it comes to this, my DNA is from Eastern Europe, Middle East, man. Like, I know this. We grew up on this. We study this. We understand this. DNA's from there. I'm a proud American, though. Born here, raised here. Shout out to New York City. Brooklyn. Stand up. Coffee. Right? Coffee. Anyway. Episode 700 coming. Is it this week? 8, 9, no, Monday. Monday will be episode 700. Anyway, I want to thank our sponsors, Midnight, Privacy Matters, Polymarket, my official prediction market sponsor of this show and my personal brand. Cake Wallet. You want a secure wallet for your Bitcoin, Monero, and others. Litecoin. Check out Cake Wallet, man. Check out Cake Wallet, and also use CakePay if you can make transactions. You want to make purchases? Cake Pay. And I'll break that down again this month. And People's Reserve. Shout out to People's Reserve. Why sell your Bitcoin? Use it as collateral. RWAs are real, man. CJ will be speaking at the Bitcoin conference, breaking down the protocol that he has built. And we need it. We really need it, man. Hold your Bitcoin, man. All right. And use it as collateral. On that note, I love you guys. I love you guys. Some of you dudes need girlfriends. And I don't know how you're going to get a girlfriend. That's one thing I don't even know. I don't even know how to. No, I don't think a lot of you guys. Maybe 1 out of 10 individuals has a chance here in crypto. You don't even. No, I've seen the approach. No, horrific. No, terrible. There's gonna be a lot of unmarried women. A lot of unmarried women in their 40s, 50s. Because these dudes, have you seen these dudes? Seen these dudes? Besides not being able to speak, they look green in the face. They don't leave the house. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow to talk about crypto. We'll talk more about what's going on in Iran. For real, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the support. We're back on TikTok. The ban is officially comes to an end at 2:27 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So we'll be back. We'll stream on TikTok. I'll do a special live stream on TikTok. Maybe I'll get naked on TikTok just to go ahead and fuck with TikTok. Anyway, I'm out.